Justice Panton does injustice to Jamaica and the IC. Hello, my people. SkyWalker here. Today, let's talk about the Integrity Commission and the media claims that they are being attacked by the same people they systemically attack and try to brainwash. The media attack the people and try to brainwash them, and the IC attack the people by attacking the government, and now they try to brainwash the people. The chairman of the Integrity Commission, Justice Panton, knows as much as anyone what integrity means and how to interpret simple laws. More than all, he must understand the difference between a paradoxical truth and a contradiction. Or let's say that as a long-time judge, he would understand the separation of issues, which naturally is no trait that is unique to a lawyer or judge. But so many people in Jamaica seem to be confused because they believe that education always trumps common sense. Logic is logic anywhere it is found. Sometimes, because it is more complex, a special value must be placed upon the interpretation of laws. The systemic way of overcoming the challenges of interpretation is simplicity. Wisdom is simplicity. You unravel one simple thing at a time and complexities will disappear. As long as the truth seems ambiguous, legal minds can twist it in order to drive disingenuous rhetoric. Like, for example, Oral Tracy, and yes, I am going to call his name because I see a video with him attacking Vegas, and I think Vegas was right. Oral Tracy using the ambiguity in the question of whether Andrew Holness had excessive or unexplained wealth, but directing it to the dependent masses in a way that suggested Andrew does, with complete lack of certainty and no proof to say that he had some unexplained 400 or more million, and I mean Andrew. There was no proof to say that Andrew had some unexplained 400 or more million. But Oral Tracy questioned where Andrew got so much riches from. You see what he's doing? He's creating reality out of an illusion or out of a mere question, out of a presumption. He's creating a true reality. Remember, too, that he was doing this as a response to what the PNP and his media cronies were doing, more like a tag team event. It was not like he came up with an idea and was moved to acts. He was doing it almost like a part of a tag team. Moreover, I am not a journalist, and by simple observation, without even doing any research, I saw the issue as a no no. The entire thing was a no no from day one because it was conspicuous. Why would educated journalists choose to play dumb and act on serious issues that affect a person's integrity without research or even care for the individual's right? Yeah? Why would an educated journalist or why would educated journalists choose to play dumb and act on issues, serious issues that affect a person's integrity without research or without a care for the right of that person? Moreover, it was always a no no when you observe all the circumstances around this leak and public trial, and the media was at the front, right beside the PNP, as partisan as ever if you go by the facts, especially if you observe Oral Tracy's video, for example. And there were many other videos by other people too, even by TVJ. Does the fact that a company has a partisan PNP owner have to influence the workers who, by their own integrity, understand the need for neutrality in media? In the case of the Gleaner, RJR, and all we have in this country, it would seem so. Or maybe there are offers to some people. I don't know. What I know is that all of this is sorcery. All of it is a mind game. It's spiritual wickedness in high places. Mind science used for evil is sorcery. Even if he corrects the lie, and let's go back to Oral Tracy, for example, because he was the one I saw on that video, and he was the one who made me think about the matter, and now I'm coming with this video. Even if Oral Tracy corrects the lie, because it is a lie, it is a lie. He told a lie. He literally told a lie on the prime minister. But it does not come off by principle. If you read, he could go to court and say he didn't tell a lie. But by subliminal intelligence, you know that he deliberately told a lie. Even if he corrects that lie, the damage remains. The word was already called into reality. Like now, you know that Santa Claus is not real, but Christmas comes and you still act on the belief in Santa Claus. The lie becomes more truer than the truth. It is one way to do a spin and confuse the minds of the masses towards a disingenuous or propaganda rhetoric. Mind science used for evil is sorcery, and I see it and all these triggers being laid everywhere, all day, every day. And the Jamaican people need to get wise to it. The Jamaican people must become the nation that becomes immune to these kind of stuff. We look around us and see vast improvement since he arrived. Why is Andrew Holness such a threat to many? Something does not add up. Maybe people are being offered selfish gains. There is no one who receives an ounce of gold and says, "Gold, what the F am I going to do with an ounce of gold? Give me an ounce of silver or copper instead." Who does that? Why is Jamaica being demanded to behave like a fool? Who will benefit? Not the masses for sure. So the masses better look at what is right for them. Why is it that since Jamaica seems to be going forward, the effort to pull it backward is like more becomes greater? And this is not to say that I mean the JLP has to be in power, but it is just to say that the first time you can look around you and actually see the changes. I mean, why are we coming? Why it's I mean, we see it goes beyond beyond every border. It crosses every border. It is beyond belief. It is like no rules are being followed. It is not a JLP endorsement. It is just looking at the thing as is, but mostly based on the evil and underhanded behavior of influential people going up against the government in ways that goes beyond the explanation of politics. It seems like people have greater stakes than politics itself. So many eyes are open today. So many eyes are open today. And I don't know if it's because of social media, but the conventional media is challenged to keep fooling the people these days. Only they don't realize they still go into victim mode after the people they attack call them out. Every time the people they attack call them out, they go into victim mode. We see TVJ trying to pretty up unruly and disingenuous behavior by Justice Panton, acting on a lack of integrity. But they believe that these things still work. It's like they believe that the people are going to look at the pretty up of Panton's behavior and believe it. They will only reinforce the die-hard beliefs to the die-hearted. Outsiders like myself will only look and see the injustice because the spells do not work these days as we are not all dunce anymore. I look at Pantons representing Panton and that forum, and what I saw was a complete lack of integrity. And reminding you that this man is the head of the Integrity Commission. We have watched these long and continuous series of coincidences, things going one way, coincidentally going one way to attack the government, coincidentally going one way to fool the people. We have watched these long and continuous series of coincidences for so long that we can now be sure of an ever going conspiracy between the media and influential powers at all times. In fact, we can easily discern partisan behavior by both the media and the IC. It cannot not be conspicuous anymore, and that is the point that these clueless people fail to realize. They are being sniffed out like Fox News. Sometimes a legal minded person will try to confuse the law in order to create a condition of ambiguity. Now, ambiguity is a means to use sorcery against the minds of the people. This ambiguity is to turn contradiction to the truth. So the ambiguity will afford room to contradict the truth. And the truth in this sense will be any law that this legal mind chooses to usurp. Let me show you an example. A law that says a law that says that an issue before the court should not be debated on before it was resolved by the court means exactly that. It means that an issue before the court should not be debated on before it was resolved by the court. These are systemic rules that protect individuals. The IC leaking out information and allowing the media and what seems like political allies to attack the integrity of the person they will is exactly the reason why the law was made. It was to protect the individual. It was to uphold the rule that you are innocent until proven guilty. The leak out ambiguity and public partisan trial strategy is to usurp that law. And no one can say that there were no leaks and deliberate seeming mistakes that ended up going to the charge of the person anyway. So you're turning him into a victim. It is like lying in error and saying you have 100 extra. Then, when it is established that no 100 extra existed, you allow for public trial for the non existent 100. So the people will charge him for that 100 that you lied about. So a person like Oral Tracy can now run with it, spin doctoring the rhetoric. Where did you get that extra 100 from? It is not about truth. All these coincidences. It is not about truth. It is about destroying a reputation and bringing someone down to the level of lower trash so that he can be defeated by lower trash. Politics is evil, but why is the media and the Integrity Commission involved? They should not be involved. The media should be neutral and the Integrity Commission should be neutral. Why are they involved? They cannot say they are not involved because it's right there before your eyes and it's conspicuous. Why are they telling us that something that is conspicuous is unseeable? It's gang stalking or tag teaming. It's conspicuous. Panton's tone and general behavior shows the kind of animosity that almost proves he could be playing that adverse or evil role himself, or maybe be a part of it at least. He behaved like Michael Manley facing against Siaga on a forum that was for the people of whatever political affiliation. It was for all Jamaicans, but he was playing that tribal politics like Manley and Siaga. And he is not supposed to be a politician. He's supposed to be the chairman of the Integrity Commission. So why was he a PNP politician on that stage? A forum that is for all Jamaicans. People who will kill or poison others do not trust others with food or weapons. Why would we listen to a man who proves a lack of integrity and still hold on to trust in him? And why would TVJ try to pretty up the display of a lack of integrity? You can call out certain media houses and challenge them on any day for complicity in this kind of sorcery and win all day. Mind science used for evil is sorcery, it is spiritual wickedness. So the law that restricts debates and issues before the court meant to protect the rights of individuals was breached in order to breach the individual rights. It is all obvious, and the biggest stakeholders use their own conjured ambiguity and a subsection of the same law to do their witchcraft. In many of these cases, since the IC was the source of these problems, if the IC had all that integrity, they would have had an obligation to come out and remind people about the law. They remained silent to the disfavor of the victim. Their leaked information created the victim they created. Moreover, they too tried to turn the paradox into a contradiction, and the only reason could be complicity. The rights of any person, including politicians, must be important enough to protect or to be protected. Justice Panton and the media now expects us to believe in a perpetual series of coincidences without believing that deliberate strings are attached. Impossible. We see people like Justice Panton deliberately pretending to be too dumb to interpret a law, and conveniently so too. I could see and hear the frustrations in the voice and features of Colonel Charles Jr. Watching someone he looked up to as a young student, I felt his pain. Whenever people love to bring their commitment to God into the conversation to prove their integrity is a cause for concern. A woman who tries to obey a woman who tries to obey the neighbor is always on her side of the fence, praising and thanking Jesus. Take sleep and mark that. It is reaction formation psychology that calls out for scrutiny of their integrity. Pantan's integrity does no longer need to be scrutinized. Jamaica did wrong for putting him in a place where integrity was a necessity. You must already have that integrity in order to demonstrate the integrity. Pantan did not even have enough integrity to respect the people of Jamaica and the parliament by. Do you realize that this too is a lack of integrity? You claim that on your integrity you are for the country, but you go into their parliament with arrogance, disdain, and bad mind about poison. Then you turn around and associate this unenlightened behavior with poor Rossi's high school. They should look up to you, demonstrating iniquity in the eyes of God and righteousness, like how Colonel Charles looked up to you, demonstrating your knowledge of interpreting law when it was convenient. You have a law you claim to be contradictory, but you do not have a systemic interpretation as a general course of action. What were your judgments concerning these laws all this time? Your own opinions? Did this make you God unanswerable to the parliament that implies you? That would be a lack of integrity too. turning codes and the agreement like you want to overthrow the people that pays you with arrogance. The media can go spin all day, but the facts are open. You cannot stop Spice from opening her legs on stage, but you can agree that it is not a decent look. Because you cannot stop her, then we can do nothing about it. You cannot stop a person who is under investigations from speaking about his own matter. But in some cases, it might even come across like Spice opening her legs on stage, or it might be a contravention of the law at least. Why would anyone demand that he speaks if he believes it is not prudent? The law is obvious. It does not dare to stop that person who is being investigated, but it had already laid the rightful protocol. Now, Justice Panton conveniently believes that it is rocket science, and this is what these legal minds do, turning a paradox, a mere truth within a truth, into a contradiction, saying that no one should speak on the matter before the courts, and at the same time saying that the person under investigation can speak on his own matter that is before the court can be seen as paradoxical instead of contradictory. Those that present it as a contradiction are usually the same legal minds that try to spin and do disingenuous things with legal issues. They create ambiguity in things that are straightforward. A complexity is simply many simple things entwined, and we must unravel one simple thing at a time. Wisdom is simplicity in a sense. Nothing is greater than doing the simple things right. You can do bad by doing something, and you can do bad by doing nothing. The media can use these tricks, ambiguity and omissions, and then they can pretend as if they are the ones being attacked by a people who are slowly rising to their own self-defense against the demonic media. We have reached a place in Jamaica where intelligence trumps education. People like all these PNP legal minds, the media and Justice Panton, of course, are fully educated and arrogant about it. They are still caught up in the time when the simple sound of big words were awesome enough to convince the masses. I warned earlier that the PNP was going for a dinosaur type of propaganda politics that would play against them. Them and all these dinosaurs, even in the media, are proving my point. Victim mindset media. If your evil deeds of sorcery have become conspicuous to people who are not impressed anymore, how the hell do you believe it will work? The people are receiving intelligence on their own. Their minds were not manipulated on these principles like educated fools. You are educated, but they are becoming intelligent. You will wake up one morning and realize that a free mind could never be the slave as shackled as you. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.